Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So once again, we welcome everyone to today's Sunday Love Feast program. And we do notice some new faces today. So we extend our very special welcome to you and thanks to you for coming here today. Of course, we all know that tomorrow is Sri Krishna Janmashtami, the holy appearance day of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So for the last 3 days, today is the 4th day, tomorrow will be the 5th day, we have been getting together here in satsang and discussing about Krishna's glories, understanding behind how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and when Krishna descends to the material world, he does not descend to the material world like you and I, ordinary human beings, but he does so through his transcendental potency. So we will continue reading when Lord Krishna has appeared in the mind of Vasudeva, and then through the Diksha process appeared in the heart of Devaki, and as soon as Krishna appeared in the heart of Devaki, Devaki was effulgent. There was this very special effulgence coming out of Devaki's transcendental body. And noticing this, Kamsa knew for sure that now the prophecy that the 8th child of Devaki will be the cause of his death, and the 8th child of Devaki will be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Looking at the effulgence of Mother Devaki, he was confirmed that now the time has come. So we will continue reading from there, but before that we will chant Jai Radha Madhava. So please sing with me. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Everybody chant please. free with it. Divine grace, ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन विविधि फणाचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, इस्कॉन गुरु वृंद की जय, श्री गुरु परंपरा की जय, गंगामय जमुनामय की जय, भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री श्री गौर निताय भगवान की जय, श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय, श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड की गोवर्धन की, श्री श्री राधा माधव जी की, युगधर्म हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की, श्री कृष्ण नाम संकीर्तन की, पतित पावन श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glorious assembled devotees, all glorious assembled devotees, all glorious assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakhya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Actually, I can say louder than you without the mic. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare.
I am louder than you.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jasya Prashadat Bhagavad Prasado, Jasya Prasadan Nagati Kutopi, Dhyayanstuvam Stasya Yashastri Sandham, Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam, Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam, Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Taman Krishna Goswami Niti Namine. Hare Krishna. So we'll continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, and today We'll continue reading from verse 22. Saesha jivan khalu samparetu varteta yotyanta nishamsitena dehmit mritetam manuja shapanti ghanta tamo andham tanu manino dhruvam. So here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, after Kamsa saw the effulgence of Devaki, and he was confirmed that now the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, has appeared. In a layman's term, we say in the womb of Devaki, but we understood yesterday that actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not have to be conceived like an ordinary human child. So, Srila Prabhupada confirmed that Krishna actually appeared in the heart of Devaki. So, as soon as this happened, Kamsa started thinking that what should I do? Although Kamsa was a demonic king, he was still very, very mindful of moral principles. So Srila Prabhupada says, in today's world, people are not even bothered about the moral principles. People are not even concerned about good behavior. Please come forward so that other guests who are coming, they can join us. And please don't worry, we are vegetarians. Although Fiji used to be a cannibal country, we are no longer. Thank you. So, Kamsa started thinking that it is not befitting a king to behave in this manner, because actually out of fear, people can do anything and everything. Now Kamsa is fearful that the 8th child of Devaki has now appeared and he will be the cause of my death. So anyone and everyone in this material world is of course fearful of death. No one wants to die. And as much as possible, we want to avoid death. And in order to do that, we take resort to basically anything and everything. It might not be prevalent here, but of course we know that back home in India or in wherever, we have people of Hindu belief, or you can say people of Indian origin. It is very, very common that, if some suffering happens or something happens in life, other than absolutely turning to God or more or less praying to God that thank you very much, oh my Lord, because of you being in my life, my suffering has actually been minimized. People don't think like that. Commonly what Indian communities would do is they'd resort to anything and everything, and probably they'd end up with a witch doctor, or go to some Babaji, or do something, please save me from this. But they would not come to the shelter of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has the ultimate solution. Srila Prabhupada says that commonly what people do, people would like to help others, right? So if somebody does not have food, you'd like to give some food. Somebody does not have proper clothing, then you'd like to give some clothing. Somebody is sick, you want to give some assistance. But Srila Prabhupada explains very clearly that we have to understand through the teachings of Lord Sri Krishna, the first and foremost teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is that we are not this body but spirit souls. So we have to understand that as human beings, we basically follow two types of dharma. Each and every individual follows two types of dharma. One is the dharma of the body, and the other is the dharma of the soul. And it is very, very prevalent that people always follow the dharma of the body. Everyone takes action in their life that relates to the body. I will only consider those people my family who are associated with my body, who are my siblings, my children, my wife, my wife's family, my family. But we never see in the context of the soul. If you look at it in the context of the soul, then all living entities are our family. All living entities are our brothers and sisters, because we all come from one Supreme Father. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that I am the seed-giving Father of all living entities. So basically Krishna is the source of everyone. So here also, when Krishna appeared, Kamsa became worried that my death is now imminent. And therefore Kamsa is thinking, what should I do? Should I kill Devaki with the child? And that is the end of the story. But then Kamsa thinks, no, I am a king. And it is not befitting a king to kill a woman. And of course a woman who is pregnant, like this. So then Kamsa started thinking, a person who is very cruel is regarded as dead even while living. For while he is living or after his death, everyone condemns him. Then after the death of a person in the bodily concept of life, he is undoubtedly transferred to the hell known as Andha Atma. When you die, this is a very important point. If before your death you do not understand the distinction between the body and the soul, then you are destined to hell. That means you are destined to lower species of life, if you do not understand this. In the human form of life, it is very, very important to understand the distinction between the body and the soul, and then understand the dharma of the soul. Just as we are going to celebrate Sri Krishna Janmashtami, or we celebrate Ram Navami, we celebrate Gaur Purnima, we celebrate Narsingha Chaturdashi. So all these various celebrations we have for the various incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we must question, why do we have this? If the Lord is descending here only to teach us bodily religious principles, then there is no need for this. Because other than human beings, the other living entities, you look at a lion, you look at a dog, you look at a monkey, you look at a tiger, they are all working under the modes of material nature. When the tiger kills another animal, or for that matter, kills a human being, he does not incur karma. There is no karmic reaction for that. Lower species of life, there is no karmic reaction. But for human beings, there is karmic reaction. Why? Because other living entities do not have the intelligence to understand their constitutional position. Whereas we human beings have the ability to understand God and understand ourselves as part and parcel of God. That is the only reason why we get human form of life. Therefore, the scriptures say, Dharmena hina pashubhi samana. If in the body of human beings, of course you and I are human beings, if in this body we do not do the dharma of the soul, then we are no better than animals. What do animals do? Animals do eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Animals also eat, we also eat. Of course, when we eat, there is karmic reactions involved. When animals eat, no karmic reaction. Sleeping, we all sleep. We all sleep. Once you are fast asleep, it doesn't matter whether you are sleeping on a mattress, sleep-made mattress, or you are just sleeping on the floor. It doesn't matter once you are asleep. So animals also sleep, and so do we. Sometimes we say, Prabhuji, I need to have enough sleep. But what does Lord Rishabdev say? Lord Rishabdev says the human life is meant for tapasya. Tapo divyam putraka. He says the human life is meant for tapasya. We need to make some sacrifice. Just like we do pujas at our homes, and then we say, I'm holding a sacrifice. I'm holding a sacrifice at my place. I'm doing a fire sacrifice, a fire yagya. So you do havan, right? Fire sacrifice. So not all the time we can do fire sacrifice. So in our own lives we can do sacrifice. What is that sacrifice? Simply to sacrifice the animalistic mentality. Simply to sacrifice the animalistic mentality. What is the animalistic mentality? Eating, sleeping, mating and drink, dine and dance. That's the animalistic mentality. Of course you can dovetail it. When you drink Krishna Chandamrit, dine Krishna Prasadam and dance and Hari Kirtan, then of course you have given up animalistic mentality. So human form of life is meant for sacrifice. It is meant for dharma. And that is why we all know. Every person of Indian origin knows this very well. When it comes to Bhagavad Gita, when it comes to the descent of the Lord, we all know why does Krishna descend? When does Krishna descend? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata abhyutanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Every Indian basically knows this verse, right? It runs in your blood. It runs in your blood, but unfortunately, the blood doesn't rise up to your head. If it does, then what will we do? Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. If it does reach our head, reach our intelligence, then Krishna is saying very, very clearly, Sarva dharman parityaja. Krishna is saying, Sarva dharman. Again, dharma. We all know there's two types of dharma, just as I said. The bodily dharma and dharma of the soul. Bodily dharma is every other dharma other than Krishna consciousness. Every other dharma is other than Krishna consciousness is bodily dharma. You want so much wealth, therefore you engage in certain kind of worship. What do you do with the wealth? Does the wealth accompany the soul at the time of death? So that means, somebody wanted to be very, very dharmic. I'm a grihastha and therefore I must earn good money to maintain my family. What is the point if you are not taking the family with you at the time of death? What is the point if you are not taking the wealth at the time of death? I'm not saying that you should not earn money. You should earn money, but you must understand how to use that money. Srila Prabhupada gives an example, just like fire. If you know how to control fire, how to use fire, how to utilize fire, you can cook very nice food. Prasadam. You can cook very nice food. But if you don't know how to control fire, what can happen? You can burn down your home. You can burn down your. So this human form of life, if we don't know how to utilize it, you will burn down yourself. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means we will fall into lavash pieces of life. I'm sure all of you must have read the Ramayana or heard the Ramayana at some point in time. And there's a very nice verse in the Ramayana. It says, Jaan booj nar kare dhitai, duba jai aur tha na pai. That means, if we do not utilize this human form of life appropriately, even after knowing Krishna, even after knowing Lord Ramachandra, I can see practically the whole temple is full of people of Indian origin. The blessing for us is that the Vedic Dharma, the knowledge of Krishna consciousness in some way or the other is actually running in our blood. We know about Krishna from our very birth. From our very birth. But the difficulty is, because it runs in our blood, so we are of the view, I know everything. I know everything. And actually the fact is, we don't know nothing. Had it not been for Srila Prabhupada, we would not know nothing. So, this human form of life is meant for Krishna consciousness. We must realize this. Eating, sleeping, mating. We all have families. Animals also have families. Prabhupada says, the hog, the pig, he is more expert than us. For the hogs, they can have like a dozen piglets all at once. What do we want to compare our ability with? We are not even good at that. So that human form of life is not meant for animalistic life. Eating, sleeping, mating and defending. What we are doing? We are simply trying to create protection for ourselves. We are always trying to create some protection. Why do we want wealth? We want protection. Because if I have better wealth, then I will have better access to medical. I have better access to this. All in the attempt to avoid death. And there is no way you can avoid death. Death can only be avoided. Death can only be avoided. Lord Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam yom veti tattvataha tyakta deha punarjanma naiti mametisho Arjuna. Krishna says that if one understands Krishna, Krishna's janma, Krishna's appearance, last 3 days, that's what we have been trying to do. Srila Prabhupada explained to us very nicely that Krishna is not born. He is the unborn. Krishna is unborn. Every one of us are born, but Krishna is not. Therefore, janma karma chame divyam. Whatever activity you and I do, that is karma. That creates karmic reaction. You may do some activity which may incur sinful reaction. That means things that you do against the scriptures. In fact, we all know that doing things against the scriptures, then common understanding is, oh, lying is against the scriptures. Lying is sinful. Not helping others is sinful. Being violent is sinful. But have we ever thought? We are saying, what does violence mean? Violence means, I might kill someone. I might kill another animal. That's why you have associations, violence against animals. You have all these things. You have violence against other human beings. If you kill someone, you'll be charged with murder. But have we ever thought that we are killing our own self? How is that? Whole our life, we are not practicing Krishna consciousness. We are not developing Krishna consciousness. And yet at the time of death, what happens? Everyone wants what? At the time of death, what do you want? Anybody commonly, what do you want? Anybody knows what do you want at the time of death? Mataji wants to go back home, back to Godhead. Anyone else? Okay, let's make it easier. Raise your hands if you know that what you want at the time of death. Raise your hands if you know what you want. Okay.
No question.
Maybe we can ask. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, I'm Prabhuji behind. No. Yeah, you.
Go back to Godhead.
Go back to Godhead. Prabhuji, you. No, I'm asking you. Yes.
Go to a vacation. I just sent it.
Come again?
What was vacation? I didn't listen to it. I was just.
Oh, sorry. Now I was asking this Prabhuji. To live forever? Okay, very good. Very good. The question is, what do we want at the time of death? Okay, let me make it a little bit more easier. How many of you sitting here have thought that you will die one day? Raise your hand. Okay, that seems to be a very easy question. If I were to ask you, how many of you have thought of taking a vacation at some point in your life? You are now working, so you have some plans for a vacation. How many of you have thought about that? Okay, very good. So when you have thought about vacation, what are some of the things you need to do for your vacation to materialize?
Plan.
You have to plan. What else?
Save up money.
You got to save some money. Huh? Prabhuji is very planning in advance. Very good, very good. That's intelligence. No, you can't say, no, you wake up one morning and I want to go on a vacation. The WestJet won't carry you for free. So you got to save. So once you have saved, say you have saved enough money, then to go on the vacation, what do you have to do? You have to pack up, you have to buy an airline ticket. You have to first determine your destination, right? You just don't turn at the airport and they say, I want to go on vacation. Where do you want to go? Anywhere. It doesn't happen like that. But commonly, that's what we do. We all do not plan in our lives what do we want after death. First, we have not even thought, many of us sitting here, we have not even thought about death. But death is sure to come, right? I'm sure you must have attended many funerals in your life. So when you attend a funeral, thought comes to your mind. Oh, this gentleman was just there yesterday. Oh, just last week I met him in the mall. Oh, last week I met him at the temple, and today he's not there. So for a moment, you realize that one day I will not be there as well. But as soon as you leave the funeral home, you've forgotten about it. If you did remember, then you will prepare yourself. You need to determine your destination. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Sometimes people believe all paths lead to the same place. All paths lead to the same place. How can that be? You go to the Calgary airport and you say, just sit in any flight. Will it go to the same destination? No, it cannot. Likewise in our lives, if we have not planned, we have not thought what destination we want to go, then we are completely unplanned. We're completely unplanned. And when you are unplanned, that means what will happen upon death? Death is sure to happen. Then you go into the 84 lakh, the 8,400,000 species of life. At the time of death, whatever you remember, whatever you have done for your life, your whole life, whatever you have been doing, that is your destiny. That is your destiny. Sometimes people might say, I have no problem eating anything and everything. I don't complain about food. So amongst the animal species, hog is the animal which does not complain about any food. Hog goes on to even eat stool.
Yeah.
Yeah, garbage, yes, So if you eat like garbage, anything and everything, then that means you are not meant for human birth. That means you are suited for hog life. You're suited for a hog life. That is why it is very, very important. We are intelligent. Every one of you sitting in this temple hall are very, very intelligent people. If you did not have any intelligence, you would not have come to the temple this hour. You're very intelligent people. So intelligence is already with us. The love of Godhead is already within our hearts. The knowledge of Krishna is already within our hearts. We just need to be in the right environment for it to fructify. Just like, of course, during winter, many of the plants don't flower, right? But those trees, when it comes to summer, they start They start giving out, leaves and flowers and fruits. So that means during winter, the tree still has fruits, flowers, leaves, all within it. It just requires conducive environment for it to manifest. Srila Prabhupada also gives a very good example. Just like you consider this piece of wood, this chair, Vyasasan. This is made out of wood. This wood has fire inside it. How many of you believe it? I say yes because when I'm sitting on it. Am I feeling heat out of it? No. But this wood has fire. So how do I take out the fire out of this wood?
It's like a flame.
As soon as this wood goes in the association of fire, then fire also comes out of this. Every one of us sitting here is naturally devotee. We are naturally parts and parcels of Krishna. So you may feel, I'm not having the kanti mala, I'm not wearing the dhoti, therefore I'm not a devotee, I'm not having a tilak. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I offer my respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the present, of the past, and of the future. Of the future. So each and every living entity is a devotee. It's just a matter of getting into the right association and the right environment, and then your devotion will come out. So that is why Srila Prabhupada has created this wonderful international society for Krishna consciousness. The ISKCON movement, the Hare Krishna movement. This ISKCON society, so that we can provide you the conducive environment for your devotional ecstasies to be exhibited. To give you the conducive environment. So that is what human life is meant for. Therefore, the point being, when Krishna appears in this world, Krishna is appearing to establish religion, establish dharma. And he establishes dharma of the soul. Dharma of the soul. And therefore in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, the living entities are my parts and parcels. They are eternally their parts and parcels. There is never going to be a time that, we will not exist. Krishna told Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita that never was there a time when you did not exist, I did not exist, and there will never be a time that we will cease to exist. But the only difference is, I remember, whereas you don't. You and I, we don't remember our past life. Actually, you don't need to remember. The good thing is, you are human beings this life. That means you must have definitely done something very good in the previous life that you have got. And even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that sometimes on the path of devotional service, we may not be able to complete it. Say for example, sometimes we do Krishna consciousness, but we probably didn't get to a stage, very advanced Krishna conscious stage. Krishna says to Arjuna, then what happens? Srimatam Suchinam Gehe. We get born in families of Brahmins, Vaishnavas, and of course being born as human beings in itself is blessings. When I'm discussing Krishna consciousness in different places around the world, then it's very common, people ask us, or people will say, we say, you're parts and parcels of Krishna, and therefore it's your natural constitution position to be servants of Krishna. So then people say, no, I understand, Prabhuji, when Krishna will want, I will also become a devotee. When Krishna will want, then I will also become a devotee. So how do you know Krishna is wanting? How do you know that Krishna is willing that you become a devotee? How can you know? Anyone?
When you seek.
When you are sick,
No, seek. When you seek.
Oh, when you seek. Oh, sorry. I thought, when you are sick. I said, no, this is not Krishna's kindness.
When you seek Him. When you come in contact.
It could mean two things. If you are sick, means you are diseased, or you are a Sikh. Then it means Krishna wants you. So how do you know Krishna is willing? That Krishna wants you, your love, your devotion. Of course, you come to the temple, and then Krishna will wink at you. Right? You come to the temple, you're looking at Radha Madhav, and Radha Madhav goes like this. So you know, oh, Krishna wants me. I'm supposed to be a gopi. No. You know how Krishna wants you? Because Krishna has given you this human form of life. This is the first indication. Just having human form of life means Krishna has given you the opportunity. Krishna has given you the opportunity. And after getting human form of life, when you come in contact with the association of devotees, means Krishna is definitely wanting you. Krishna is definitely wanting you. It's like, sometimes we have children, right? Maybe the child grows up and the child decides to move away from home, right? Move out. The child decides to move out. Then what do parents do? Parents, they don't want children to move out. So whoever they meet, their relatives, Dadaji, Masi, Masa, everyone they meet, and they say, if you can convince the children to stay with us. That's exactly what they do, right? That's exactly what family does. Oh, please can you convince him to stay with us? Some or the other. So that's exactly what the saintly persons are doing. Krishna is sending saintly persons in our lives. In our life. And Krishna is actually saying to the saintly persons, please go and bring these conditioned souls to myself. That reminds me of a very nice story. His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj used to tell this story. That one time, Krishna was sitting in the spiritual world, in Golok Vrindavan. And Krishna was sitting in his throne, alone. And Narad Muni went to Golok Vrindavan. Narayana, Narayana. Narad Muni is one personality. Sometimes we think very bad of Narad Muni. We say, Narad Muni is one person, idhar ka udhar karta hai, jagda lagata hai. Narad Muni is a very great devotee. Narad Muni is one of those devotees who in his very same body can come to the material world and enter the spiritual world. So, Narad Muni went to Golok Vrindavan. Krishna was sitting there. So Narad Muni said to Krishna, Jai Shri Radha Madhava ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. How much time do I have? Huh?
2 minutes.
Oh, overtime? Oh, sorry. You like me to stop? I can.
No, continue.
Okay, let me tell you this last story. Then we'll go for prasad. So, then Narad Muni went and Narad Muni said to Krishna, hello Krishna, how are you? And Krishna was sitting very morose. So, what happened? What happened, Krishna? Krishna said, all my parts and parcels are there. But unfortunately, no one was wanting to come to me. No one is wanting to come to me. Narad Muni said, Krishna, come on, it's not like that. You are mistaken. In this world and the planet Earth, there are so many people who are wanting to come to you. You go to these holy places. You go to whole of India. There's so many people worshipping you. You go all over the world. So many people are worshipping you. You go to Calgary. So many people are worshipping you. So I'll bring some. It's a easy thing. I'll just go and bring a whole lot of people for you. So Krishna said, okay, please go get someone. So Narad Muni came to the material world, and there was a very nice person who was always chanting Krishna bhajan, and then his family is always praying. His old man. So he comes to this person's home, and he said, "Oh Narayana, Narayana." So this person became very happy. Oh Narad Muni, it is my great fortune that a saintly person has come to my home. So he said, Narad Muni, please come, take a seat. I'll wash your feet. Please have a glass of water. What can I do for you? So Narad Muni said, nothing much. But I'm just coming from the spiritual world and Krishna is sitting there alone. So Krishna is just wanting some company. And I see, you are such a nice, you have such nice devotion. Every day you are chanting Aarti in your home, ringing the bell and everything you are doing. So please come, you are very nice. You should come to the spiritual world. So this man said, I'm so fortunate that Krishna thought about me. I'm so blessed. I'm actually ready to go back home, back to Godhead. But my kid is just about to finish school. So if he just finishes the school and he gets into a job, then I'm done. I'm ready to go. So Narad Muni said, okay. So he said, how much time do you want? He said, just give me 5 years. When he's about to finish high school, maybe another 3-4 years into the university, get a job and all good. So Narad Muni said, okay. So time passed, and instead of 5 years, Narad Muni came after 7 years. So by then, the man had already married his son because he finished education, got a good job. The next thing you do is get married. Right? So he said, now, it is even better. Your son is now married, so you can now come. Yeah, I'm ready to come. I'm ready to come. But the only difficulty is, my wife and the daughter-in-law, they don't get along. So now I just need some time, and I'm sure, if I have a grandchild, then, my wife will be happy because she'll have a grandchild, and my daughter-in-law will also sort of, calm down. So Narad Muni said, okay, I've given you 7 years. How much more time? Just give me 3 years. 3 years. So 3 years is fine. Narad Muni went, he came back. Narad Muni came back. Now there's a little grandchild in the house as well. So when Narad Muni comes, Narayana, Narayana. So this old man thought, Narad Muni has come again. Now I have a grandchild as well. This time will definitely take me. So, once he heard Narad Muni's sound, and the grandchild went towards the door because the doorbell rang, this man knew that Narad Muni had come. He tried to run the opposite direction. He climbed the stairs, slipped, and fell and dead. He was dead. Then, the son and the daughter-in-law came, and the wife came, and Narad Muni, you killed our father. You have been coming again and again, and you have killed our father. So, they attacked Narad Muni. Narad Muni, somehow or the other, ran away from there. He went to Krishna's planet again. He said, Krishna, I'm sorry, this man appeared so much wanting you, but, he didn't come. Krishna said, see, that's what I was saying. But Krishna said, okay, if you can still bring someone, how about you go back to the same home? And this old man, because of his attachment to his home, he has now become the dog in his own home. Now he's doing pahridari, he's a security to his own home. So Narad Muni went again. So now in front of his home, this dog is sitting there. So Narad Muni said, Kya baat hai, ab to kutte ban gaye ho. Now you've become a dog, let's go, now let's go. So then the dog said to Narad Muni, actually I've spent my whole life building up these things, but my children are so irresponsible, they've gone to the cinema and they've not even closed the house properly. So, you've given me so much time, it's just a matter of 3 hours. In 3 hours the cinema will be over, they'll be back, then I'm ready to go. So, in 3 hours time, the daughter-in-law and the son came back, and the dog was very angry. He was barking. He was barking that, you guys are not responsible. And the daughter-in-law said to the son, I think the dog has gone mad. Beat him up. So the son picked up the stick and beat the dog up. Then came Narad Muni. Narayana, Narayana. He said, now you are a dog. Now you are beaten up by your own family. Now let's go back home, back to Godhead. So the dog, with very, he was beaten up, so he was weak. And he, stood up and then barked at Narad Muni and said, don't you have anyone else to take? तुम मेरे पीछे क्यों पड़ा हुआ है? So this is, Maharaj says, this is our condition in our lives. We say, we are all ready, Krishna, at the end of our lives, we want moksha, we want to go back home, back to Godhead. But are you ready? Have you prepared yourself? How do you prepare yourself? You prepare yourself by knowing God. Just like I was coming to Calgary from Fiji. So I found out what is the weather like here. Do I need some warm clothes or summer clothes will do? What would it be like here? So when we are preparing for that and you know where you want to go after that, then you prepare likewise. We are going to go to the spiritual world. So what are the activities of the spiritual world? What does other living entities do in the spiritual world? What does God do in the spiritual world? So those things are all described in the scriptures. And that is why Krishna says, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. His activities and pastimes are all transcendental. Therefore we need to understand that. Having understood that with knowledge, then once we quit this body, we are not going to take birth. So through the Janmashtami, Krishna's appearance again and again in the material world, Krishna provides us the opportunity to understand his transcendental position, to understand our spiritual position, to understand our spiritual relationship with Krishna, and connecting ourselves with Krishna. In that manner, we can go back home, back to God. Srila Prabhupada ki. So if anyone has any questions or comments, then we can give a few minutes for that. Okay? Any questions? No questions? At least ask. Now it's time for prashadam. Okay, before that, I'd like to just chant one small bhajan, and then we'll just make short announcements. Of course, as I said, it is our great opportunity to serve Krishna, and Krishna has come, Krishna appears for us to give us an opportunity to reawaken our love and devotion. So yesterday we announced, tomorrow is Krishna Janmashtami. Of course, the first thing, the very first arati of Krishna happens in the morning, and that is at around what time? 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock is the first arati of Shishi Radha Madhava. So I humbly request everyone, pray to everyone, please make some sacrifice. Every day we sleep in late, and the Canadian government is so kind. Tomorrow is public holiday. I'm sure most of you can come for Mangal Aarti tomorrow. 5 a.m. Please come for Aarti, the first darshan of Shishi Radha Madhava. Of course. So please, if you can come, we will have Mangal Aarti, we will have Tulsi Puja, we can chant together, and that is a very wonderful way to start the celebration of Krishna Janmashtami. Of course, then further on, tomorrow we will also get an opportunity to offer our love and devotion to Krishna. So on his birthday, Krishna is very, very kind. Generally, in the temple, the pujaris, they cook for the deities. One has to be a brahmana to cook for the deities. But especially on Janmashtami, Krishna is so kind. So Krishna is allowing everyone to offer their love and devotion. So yesterday, we all got together to decide that, let us make an effort to offer Krishna 1008 offerings. And we said, if we can only make 5 preparations each, 5 types of sweets, or 5 sabjis, or 5 kinds of fruit, or whatever it be. And we said, we are, oh yes, are we giving? Oh, okay.
If possible, they can buy this one and bring it.
Yeah. We encourage everyone, just a little bit. It's not much. It's not much. Itna to hum akele hi kha jate. So if you can, just get 5 offerings like this, in this container like this, 5 types of things. You can, better still if you can make 9. Why 9? Can anyone give me a reason or logic why it should be 9? Container come in 9 pack? Good logic. Actually, it might come in a dozen. No gra? Okay, very good. Bring 9 offerings. your Nogra will be Shant. Bring it to Krishna. And then somebody said, Noda Bhakti. Yes, there is 9 process of devotional service. So, Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma, Nivedanam. But if you can't bring 9, don't worry, bring 5 at least. Because why do we say 5? Huh? Pancha Tattva? What else? Pancha Gavya, we do. Panchamrit. Panchagavya, Panchamrit. And also out of the 64 items of devotional service, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, do how much? 5. That's why we picked the number 5. So if you can bring at least 5 offerings for Radha Madhava, you will get immense blessings. Just show to Krishna. Just like when we go to someone's birthday, we bring some gift. So you can bring some gift for Radha Madhava and at least bring 5 offerings. And I think it is very, very easy. We said, there is about 200 families who are devotees or congregational members. You are associated with the temple here. So each family bring 5 and we will have 1,000 offerings. Can we do it? Yes. Okay. तो कुछ दम नहीं लगता है आप लोगों में. Yes. Can we do it? Yes. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki.
Vishwanath Prabhu ki.
Hare Krishna. So let's do that. And let's just chant one very simple bhajan and then we will break for prasad. It's a very simple one. Simple Hindi, so I'm sure all of you can accompany me. Bhaj Govinda, Bhaj Govinda, Bhaj Govinda ka naam re. Bhaj Govinda, Bhaj Govinda, Bhaj Govinda ka naam re. Bhaj Govinda, Bhaj Govinda. Bhaj Govinda ka naam re. Bhaj Govinda, Bhaj Govinda, Bhaj Govinda ka naam re. Govinda ke naam bina tere koi na aave kaam re. Govinda नाम बिना तेरे कोई न आवे काम रे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhaj Govinda, Bhaj Govinda, Bhaj Govinda ka naam re. Bhaj Govinda. ये जीवन सुख सुख का मेरा दुनियादारी स्वप्नों का खेला. ये जीवन सुख दुख का मेरा दुनियादारी स्वप्नों का खेला. जाना तुझको पड़े अकेला. भजले हरि का नाम रे. जाना तुझको पड़े अकेला. भजले हरि का नाम रे. भज गोविंदा, भज गोविंदा, भज गोविंदा का नाम रे. महिमा गाके प्रेम के उस पर राग लगाके गोविंदा के महिमा गाके प्रेम के उस पर राग लगाके जीवन अपना सफल बना के चलो ईश्वर के धाम रे जीवन अपना वृंद की